Daddy, doing the Diabolic Daddy gaming show on endgames. Endgames in chess and endgames in this are a little bit different. With with Battle Island's commanders, the endgame actually accelerates, where an endgame with chess seems to slow down. You see, if you break a chess game into thirds, you have a setup, you have a middle game, and you have an end game. Your setup is going to be essential to making the middle game and end game work, especially with chess, where it is logic and similar pieces that define the game. Now, in this Battle Island's commanders, you find yourself in a somewhat different position. Now, here, this version of this particular battle, you can see that there is not a lot of ground made, but all of my pieces are set to defend and then attack. Except, of course, the barbed wire, which is possibly one of the best things within this game as far as a defensive unit. It's cheap and it's highly effective. Now, admittedly, a big old tank can come by and crush it, but you've lost 2 units of energy, where in this, he had to pull a tank out with, I believe, 6 units. Now we're going back and forth a little bit here, and he is certainly at the advantage. That may not have been his best. It's good, but it doesn't really cover the same ground that you would want. Because you have pieces that are falling apart. Now he's setting up some good defensive strategy, but with the new armored personnel carrier, you are having units coming out as you go along, which is actually quite an effective way of dealing with things. The end game is in strong. He's throwing up defenses. We look like we're in a bit of a lock. But the reality is, I am still pushing forward. And this forward push is going to take us into overtime. This would be about the equivalent of 2 kings and multiple pawns. Now, another concern is if you look at the towers, maybe they're more like rooks. Not particularly mobile, but they are very effective defense units in and of themselves. Now, here is where it works. That's where the barbed wire comes in handy. He could have had it, but had to go against the other units. I was able to pull this off by way of the fact that you can change your direction of attack. Sometimes in an end game that becomes necessary. Over-focusing on your end game setup based on how you want it to be is the quickest way of making sure it doesn't happen. Now, this next battle will show you what it looks like when I lose. So many tears. Okay, anyway. I put it in not because my end game was great, but because of what he did worked. And this goes to one of the members of the Mac Daddies. So far, it looks like I'm doing well. You know, there's the barbed wire is catching his troops, blah, 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 blah. There's this little guy. Boom! Oh, things seem to be well. I'm building up points. Presumably he's building up points as well. And he sends out the Jeep, which can be a real pain. There was a mistake. I launched a missile I didn't need to launch. This is effective use of dogs, which are a constant pain. He has the artillery cannon, which can be a constant pain. A lot of times it's best to wait him out, and didn't. Saw the magic eyeball go off. Something was happening. And there's the something. Commandos. And what he did was what I would prescribe you to do, which is he started changing flanks. Turns out, highly effective. I'm holding it for a while, but there's only so much I can do, and when it came to this, I was kind of out of luck. Now here comes a nice big slaughter. Always like that. Smack. He, again, double command points. There's his Jeep. His Jeep is eating up my stuff. I thought I had him, but no. This guy is actually pretty good. I'd also like to point out, in this guy's favor, he's a level 5 against my level 6. Now, some things that may happen are he may have spent money where I didn't, but he is slaughtering me. I'm trying to come around and at least pull a star out of this, because I know I'm not winning. And there was another missile dropped, which I shouldn't have. Oh. Not a good maneuver in an endgame situation. In short, he had me. I was owned. Because during this, like in a chess game, you have to keep your wits straight. If your wits aren't with you, the game is not yours. Tragedy. So long. Why? Because I got too into it. You have to retain a certain level of detachment if you're a general. Oh, you're getting troops. Well, they're all expendable when it comes to the end. You must protect your king, which in this case is a big boat. So here we go. This is the setup. Since he is going to choose white and make the first attack, I will counter. And my counter move, like in swordsmanship, as I've mentioned before, a parry is just the next entrance you need to strike to attack, and that's what I did. And every strike you make should be for death. Oh, those was nice. Oh, now this is a combination I like to do. I like getting my armor unit out, and I like attaching my armor with my bazooka when I can. Not the most effective variation of it, because usually the bazooka works best when he's not being one of my rounds. I'm keeping the game alive, using my troops to keep him occupied. Part of the thing is moving your opponent around. Nice use of barbed wire, by the way, Mr. Opponent. Miss Opponent. Not my particular favorite when he has a setup of 2 artillery cannons. God, you have to wait them out as best you can, but you don't want your resources to go away. So in this particular case, as I set it up to where he would come forward, the timer on his artillery would go. My pieces would advance, and then they would have to advance with cannon fire, which I prefer them not to. trying to chew that cannon up as best as I can. I've got 2 tanks going, send out some extra infantry units. And the end game is double points. What's the point of double points? Well, I'm going to probably let him have this tower, right? Because what I want, he can take the rook, I have to have the king. And at this point, my bazooka is loving this. Why? Because he is just going to chew through that boat. So he had a great game. I, on the other hand, was able to pull past it. I used the numerics. I sacrificed my rook in favor of getting his king. Because really, sometimes that's what chess is about. Which sacrifice are you willing to make? Now I've got this last one here, I believe. These are pre-recorded, by the way, because it's very difficult to actually have any form of intelligent conversation when doing this sort of thing. There goes the barbed wire. Placed it, put in some troops. Needless to say, set my defenses to where they're followed up by attacks. Put in Bazooka Joe, one of my personal favorite guys, because he pounds on things. Love the bazooka. See, he gets 2 shots off and there's like 400 points gone. Again, see, here is another defense that turns around into an attack. An attack supported by an officer. Now in this case, I like having the armored personnel carrier come out. Thank you, by the way, Battle Islands Commanders at 505 Games production team for correcting your APC, because to be honest, it was usable to a certain degree without being corrected. But once it was corrected, oh my gosh, so much better. 2 guys coming out of that thing is way better than just 1. Now this looks like one of the battles where I have to come to a conclusion soon. Will I go for the win, which is always something I want to keep as an option, or try to protect my remaining rook? Personally, on any occasion, I go for the win. It goes back to the adage of the best defense is a good offense. Every once in a while, though, you have to do that. So we're in the end game. The command points have doubled. This thing coming towards my side is a monster. He has made it to where now I have to win to win. So far, so good. And I'm going to make it to where he's got it to where my cannons are going to take care of a lot. They're going to fight here. But I've got it to where my guys are going for the boats. I've got big bazooka coming out. Well-positioned barbed wire. I've done better, to be honest. My boat's going to have to take some damage. I'm going to have to survive. Oh, there went the bazooka, which is a real bummer because I like when the bazooka is doing his job right. But here is now the bazooka. Oh, he takes the bazooka out. But again, build defenses that attack. Now this one will help protect my guys a lot better. Running 2 layers of barbed wire shreds people if you can do it. But you see, I've got that personnel character. It's taking the damage. The bazooka is in there, and the bazooka is dealing it out pretty good. My defenses, on the other hand, which I was paying attention to, which I did not bring you to, and they're building up for the win. They're going to come in, Bazooka's going to take it. Now this is Dark Double Daddy. I hope the end game strategies kind of helped you out. Remember, just push forward and goats out.